Hello everyone, we're live at Epic headquarters. Sorry we had a little bit of technical difficulty. Had nothing to do with Shelly's amazing work behind the camera and everything to do with Zach. No, we're just kidding, Zach. But here we are now. We're really excited today. We're going to be looking at one of the community maps, Control by
Jayoplus.
Jayoplus.
We should figure out how he wants us to say his
J
name.
minus.
J minus.
Yes,
We'll
there
call
you
him
go.
Jay. How's that?
But first, don't forget you can get Unreal Tournament t-shirts now in the Epic store. It's epic.gm/UT store. So check that out if you get a chance.
Or go through the launcher.
Oh, that's right. Or you can open up the Epic launcher and just click on the little link and it will take you right to the store. We wanted to let you know that we will not be here next week. I am going to take a vacation day and everybody's kind of in and out of the office, so we're going to take a week off so you don't have to put up with us next week. And last but not least, we want to announce the winner of the Caption This contest. And I don't have the image right now, but I will put it up on the forum post later. Flick Switch one with his picture that he did of Pete saying, learn to aim. So thanks, everyone. We're going to do another one next week. And yeah, it was very Pete. I personally like pull my finger, so that person might get a t-shirt as well.
Also very Pete.
Yeah, that was also, but he didn't want to admit that. I said, you don't like pull my finger? He's like, no. So what we're going to do first here is we are going to take a look of Jay's map. And this is Control, and you guys played this today. And I was actually going to play too, but I got caught up on some other things and didn't get a chance.
So we had a pretty good time in this map, actually.
Yeah, I heard a lot of screaming,
There was
which
lots
is
of
usually a
yelling
good
involved.
sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we really like the flag base in particular. It's once you kind of get a hang of what's going on, it's pretty straightforward, and we actually really like a lot of the glass in the areas.
Yeah, having visibility on people.
There was a lot of
running behind
really,
windows.
really good gameplay around the bases because you could track people. There was good places to hide with the flag. There was good ways to
Cool
hide.
little stand-ups too. You see somebody disappear down here. And
You know
wait
they're
for 'em
coming
to
up
show
here.
back up there, or come out the other side, or
Right.
yeah.
So that was pretty damn cool.
One thing I thought was a little bit awkward.
Oh,
Hello.
you're floating.
I think I just got stuck on some
Yep.
BSP.
Hey, by the way, I found that bug while we were playing.
Huh.
So probably just an unhappy BSP rush
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. But one thing I found awkward going in the bottom end was that it's kind of tough to find your way back up to the flag. There was not really like
that was my very first
which-
impression of the level. I think the spawns down here.
Yeah, I had a hard time actually because you kind of have to go all the way around, go back up around, so it's a super long loop.
Granted, once you learn that, it actually makes the gameplay really interesting.
Yeah.
Right,
But I would
force back into that window gameplay
Exactly.
back there, but
you'd see people get kind of confused down the bottom there.
So do you think it's better that people figure it out, or do you think there should be another way?
I think that's the kind of thing that, like a lot of the things in this map, I think will be resolved.
oh hello.
Will resolved when it comes to getting some more polished visuals in there. You know, nice one, Sid. You can
He's
resolve
not
a lot
feigning
of
death, by the way.
You can resolve a lot of visual clarity issues, you know, when you come
Yeah,
back and
I
actually do visual pass on the level.
Even just some basic messaging though, to like I don't know, have some sort of arrow communication for a flag carrier that hey, you should be going this way if you want to get back to your flag.
Yeah.
Be cool.
Can we talk about some of the other areas of the map? Do you want to kind of start walking around?
Yeah, sure.
We really like the doors, the dynamic doors. They don't seem to be replicating properly at the moment. So we'll take a look at maybe setting up a generic auto door or generic door blueprint, much like we did with the generic lift that just works.
Yeah, I like this kind of little corridor-like hub area down here with the two doors coming in and out. Like it's simple enough to be easy to digest, but it still
The
allows
doors
for some
add
cool
a
gameplay.
very nice element to gameplay that we haven't seen in other maps where you can step out and block a shot or lose somebody by going behind the doors.
Hence the reason for like us doing something similar to what we did with the lift, where to kind of provide a.
And people would just be able to use them.
Yeah.
And it should just work for the most part.
The up and down was fun here too. With the weapon placement feels nice too. With the shock having its own area over here, there's lots of opportunity for people who are trekking up to like go after them down here and try and like nail.
I got a little confused on this area on the right when you go back down there. When you first come in to the base.
Oh, this little nook here.
Yeah, it's a strange little nook. And so those kinds of things, you'd make that a little shallower and just a little bit more
could
normally
actually
shaped.
just be the merged version of this over here, right? And just kind of have it be a.
It just wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
Just little polishy things like that.
Yeah.
In the midsection.
Let's backtrack
Okay.
through the other exit
Yeah.
and to cover all the exits.
One thing that we ran into a lot that we didn't necessarily mention yet was in the flag bases you have, what is it, 4 health pickups.
Oh yeah.
And the armor.
Tons of vials.
And the U damage and like 10 vials.
Oh yeah, let's actually highlight the little pickup room that you have.
I would love to just get rid of either all the health or all the health vials.
All the health? No, not all the health.
Well,
get out of town.
No, leave the vials and get rid of the health, or get rid of the vials and leave the health pickups.
Yeah, probably leaning towards like having health pickups, like having 4 or so health pickups around the base is pretty standard.
The fact that you can get 160 with vials there is pretty.
Yeah.
Plus armor.
And then you get the armor out here.
Yeah, you can get pretty stacked on your base.
Yeah, so when someone would steal a flag and then they
constantly
would knuckle down in the base.
Yeah, the flag carrier was constantly at super health and armor for every encounter. And
the window door gameplay here was nice too.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Seeing people and
you'd have these little standoffs. At one point, I think
sneak stuff through.
Who was dancing at me? Was it Zach? Yeah.
Maybe.
Zach was dancing at me through the glass, and so I danced back.
Yeah, and then Pete snuck up behind you.
Yeah, did me from behind.
Wait, what?
With a goo gun. Oh God!
And then there's more health and armor here too.
Right.
More over here.
Which wouldn't necessarily be bad, except you can do that as the flag carrier.
I kind of like it on the way in and out more, so because it's more contested than in the back of the base.
Yeah.
How many players do we have? 3 on 3?
Yeah, we had a 3 on 3.
Okay, so maybe 5 on 5. It might not be as much of a problem. It's still a lot.
Yeah, but a good flag team is going to give all that to the flag carrier. So
So yeah, we really like the bases. We had a lot of fun in there.
This room is awesome.
The outdoors, the midsection, we think could probably use some simplification. There's like the runs through here are pretty cool, but in general the geometry is a little bit confusing, and like this area is super awkward.
Yeah, it's
that
hard to
Sid's
get
on right now.
It's hard to get a good read on the actual where you're supposed to go and kind of picking a few individual structures and making them sort of guide you through the entire thing.
Right.
Versus just
some big simple shapes.
Of smaller shapes that kind of fight for your attention, especially here.
There's nothing actually wrong with the gameplay. It's interesting and actually fairly straightforward. It's just some of the geometry
that confusing.
Yeah, it could
that
be
kind of lets it down a little bit.
Do some neat stuff over here too.
Oh yeah, you could have dodged off that if you didn't suck at the game.
One thing that we found actually super OP. To here is having shield belt and keg right on top of each other.
Right.
Where you get somebody with 150, 200, 200, whatever, coming right into your base.
Sid was doing a flag run, and I had him lined up just perfectly. I shot comboed him, direct hit, and he's just like, so what? Boom! You son of a...
Probably best to get rid of the keg and move the belt up to the top.
Yeah, it would be a nice option so that you don't get the opportunistic flag run coming through, and it requires a little bit of planning and or, pulling
team
off some advanced moves to actually, if you can make it. I don't know if I can
do it, son. Yeah.
Actually get back up here and do stuff like that, right?
Yeah, that's pretty
cool.
cool.
So you can still use it as a flag runner, but you have to be a little bit more, either planning about it or you have to pull off a skill move to get it.
The other thing we were talking about is the fast route directly into the base. On this side.
Yeah. That felt a little bit OP as a flag runner.
As a flag runner, yeah. Like we really liked the ability to come in here.
Do this and just I'm out of here.
As someone who's trying to get the flag, but as a flag runner, it seems like a really fast way in, kind of bypassing a lot of the actual base itself. So
there's probably ways you can even get back out of here if you pull it off with an
you think so?
Probably with an impact charge, you might be able to get yourself off of the side there.
So sealing that off, but putting a small window so that you can get through it with a translocator. Or
yeah, something like that.
Something
this area,
like that.
Yeah, that area was really awkward for me.
Oh, we're gonna hit advantage time here.
Yeah, drop your flag.
No, we actually had returned.
We had a really good time on this level, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if the midfield was a little bit more simplified and it was a little easier to keep track of people, and
that's the biggest thing, I think.
Yeah.
We had a moment where I think it was Sid was about to cap, and I rushed across the level and beat him to stealing their flag and kind of whisked it out from underneath them, and then went all the way back. And then I think Jim finally killed Sid after we stole the cap off them. It was pretty damn cool.
We had lots of a few people actually falling to their death a lot as well off the sides of the map. I don't know if we talked about that already.
Oh yeah.
That was both
So-
good and bad, I thought, though. Like, once
Yeah,
I
it
once I
was-
figured out that they were there, I was okay
I
with
thought
it.
it was a nice trade-off in the back
was
of the
some good
base, with the
risk.
armor being risky to be at,
Right.
and if you
Yeah.
want to hang out there as a flag carrier, you risk
Yeah.
getting pushed off.
Zach and I had some amazing battles around that armor.
Mhm. And Sid,
But,
Sid was trying to attack. I had the flag, and I was trying to defend myself. And I saw him go down the bottom of the level, and I
Yeah.
knew he was going to come out there to that part there. So I
Yeah.
loaded up a couple of rockets and just splashed him, and he just bounced straight off the
Yeah.
edge.
I think a trade-off in the back of the base is fine, right? It's like a nice risk-reward sort of thing where you protect it. Out here, I saw Thomas fall a lot over on this spot particularly.
On here.
Like, what
Right in the
I think
corner
it's
there.
because you have that path wrapping around the other side of the base on the outside here, so he was trying to see if there was
Right.
something similar here, so he went.
Right, it looks like
you
there's
know,
something
down
down
this
there.
way
I
and-
agree.
I got bounced off there a couple times with a shock beam, too.
I had exactly the same thing the first time.
Yeah.
Because I assumed it was kind of like the other side, that it was a little bit misleading.
Yeah. And these might actually, I don't know, like I really like these for kind of the air control stuff you can pull off with kind of, you know, finagling your way through here.
Or you could have hit that pad too.
That would have been
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Actually would have bounced me back though, so I would have to air control against it again.
Yeah, but it's,
But
not,
then
a
it's
big, it's not a
also
big bounce back,
it's
right?
it's a really fast track path as well,
Right.
which is why it's I guess kind of cool that you have this trade-off of having to, you know,
Cut across the level again.
cut across
And,
again.
and the sniper's
but
right there. You're very exposed
it-
to the whole time.
It would actually
Yeah,
be
you are.
maybe nicer if this was a more kind of pronounced path up here that was a little bit more obvious, like
A
in
little lower down.
well, not even lowered down, but maybe widened a little bit, and or lowered, right? So
Maybe,
like
I don't
kind
know.
of
Yeah. I mean, is
right
he
now it
making
feels
that
a little
trade-off?
bit
Can
like
you
a
can you be
s-
punted off there with a shock rifle or something?
Yeah, or in the wall is major
Do you-
splashdown.
Yeah, do you splash and then fall? I mean, it might be a
maybe,
cool.
yeah. I don't know. We could
Might
also
be
just
making that
connect
choice.
between these two spots here and we kind of widen it up a little bit,
Mhm.
turn it into like, you know, a big kid. I don't know.
Into a big kid.
Yeah.
I'm a real boy.
And yeah, like the stuff up here, you could probably just close it off entirely and just kind of
Yeah.
make sure you funnel people in the right direction, because it doesn't feel like a very obvious path to look at from here.
No, it's just visual. It's the visual
You have the
confusion
arrows,
there.
but it's still like
We can
you know,
simplify that a
yeah.
lot.
For
So.
those of you who just joined us, we're looking at CTF-Control by Jayoplus, who just happens to be in the chat. And the level designers here are taking a look at it.
We're tearing it apart.
Tearing it apart. Yes.
No,
ripping
but we
out
had a
new
really
hole.
great time with it.
Yeah, we really did.
So
Some good times.
Yep.
So we're gonna. Is that it for this level?
Yeah, we should move on. Show some
Right.
of the new stuff that you guys have been working on.
Can people play this now?
Yes,
Uh,
there's a link to this in the forums.
yeah, it's actually a cooked version in the forums.
There
so
is a
people with the
cooked
cooked build
version in the
can
forum. Makes it nice and
check it
easy. All you
out.
have to do is drop it in a folder and it's ready to go.
Yep.
And it's one file.
Drop it in content packs.
PAX.
And you're good to go.
P-A-K-S.
Alright, let's see if we can
We
do
were
it.
working off the latest build too, the launcher build that we had out, so we know that
Mhm.
it works.
Okay.
Alright, so
So make sure you grab it because it's really fun.
So this is Sid's new level.
new
Oh, look at the
asymmetrical
Nally
map.
cross.
Yeah, getting nostalgic
CTF
there.
Crash Site.
CTF
Ah,
Crash
you
Site.
did. That's new.
No, it's been in there.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't even look up.
So
I just noticed it for the first time too.
I was too
Really?
busy stealing his flag.
Yes. Well, I always notice Nally crosses too.
so the idea was to basically just go nuts with asymmetrical and make it 100% truly
Mhm.
asymmetrical, which I guess also for those who didn't know already means that, hey, we have support for asymmetrical maps with such switching now. So
Sid was originally starting to make this. Sid was starting to originally make this
yeah, started up
base
in this
up here,
room.
and I was looking at making a kind of a crash site level as well. And I said, look, if you don't make that area face directly at the other base, I'm stealing the idea and doing it myself. So he was like, and so he did it as well.
Yeah, it kind of started with this room, and actually the window was in here already,
Right.
and everything. So then just kind of went from there.
Yeah, we bounced some
Um,
ideas around, and Sid went to town on it.
Yeah, like this thing is really,
this
really,
map
really
is
freaking huge.
Really a lot of fun.
So we played an early version of this at the community event when they were here.
Yep.
But it's the whole midsection is completely different, right?
Yeah, I simplified the midfield a ton.
Right.
Previously, I kind of had this all blocked off up here. And
There were
was
two
s-
different,
There was a
completely
separate path
paths.
cutting through here, going all the way around the soup to get there.
Mhm.
And then there was another one with a bridge and more complicated paths leading into another
Mhm.
structure over here and all this other stuff. But now it's super simplified. You basically just have kind of like the debris that the ship pushed out as
Right.
it crash landed that you're like fighting up and down on, which kind of also really helps, reinforce the asymmetrical nature of the map, where
Mhm.
basically with a translocator as the temple team attacking, you have an easy time going up. It's if you manage to get the flag and get out, it's a nice downhill ride and then a quick escape. And then on the other hand, if you're in the ship, you're going to have to actually get the flag.
You're spinning around making me dizzy.
Jumbo said you cut off a spawn kill area.
Oh.
Yes, you
Yes.
did.
Yeah, if you're on the ship team and you steal the flag, you have to fight your way back uphill. But there's one really crucial aspect in the middle here. There's
Pair of jump boots.
jump boots spawning down here, which those guys can really, really, really swing a match.
Yeah.
PM
I'm
said
going a
he's
bit too
gonna
fast.
barf.
Yeah.
Don't feel
Yeah,
bad,
you're
people.
good.
I'm sitting on the couch next to him, and I'm ready to barf right now.
It's down here. So there's actually some really neat things you can do with those, because we also realized
Yeah,
that
we started having some fun with these the other day.
yeah, Matt's gonna hate this.
Figuring out all the
Matt's
crazy
gonna hate us
stuff.
for it, but you can chain the jump pads with the boots in really crazy ways, so you can like, funnel your way through.
It's kinda tricky,
Didn't quite
though.
make it. On this side, actually escaping, you can do some really crazy stuff too, and kind of escape pretty much halfway across
That's
the
awesome.
field, right? So
That's
you
Yes, that
insane.
is
We might have to
awesome.
slow down the jump
No.
pad. You can slow down the
knows?
speed of the jump pads.
for now, it's crazy and it's fun, so we'll
Yeah.
see where it goes.
We'll
but
be able to balance it.
Well, I like it because I mean it makes the boots a real power up as opposed to just something
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Do you want to show them how you got on top of
Plus,
that?
if there are
Oh.
snipers up on that perch, you might as well
Yes, which
forget
there
We
almost
trying
can
to
just
get over
translocate
there.
up
you
there
mean
for now.
up all the way on top of the base?
Yeah.
He.
We figured out some.
So
some pretty
somebody
cool-
yesterday
You have to do
who
the
was-
dodge.
who was on
Yeah.
the other side, not the temple side, they had come over to the temple side and were sniping back over.
Yeah.
That was
Jeez.
pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Theoretically,
No
they
way.
can go say
Throw
hello.
your body up against the wall. You should put an entry in there just for people who do that.
Yeah, except then you can also
You can
get out.
escape too,
Yeah.
yeah. A one-way laser fence or
Yeah.
something.
There you go.
Also, so initially the idea behind, or at least my thinking was that, okay, so the ship's going to be the thing with all the power-ups, and they're kind of stealing stuff from the temple, so that's going to be the more powerful side, but
Right.
it didn't really naturally feel that way, and just the height difference and the whole
Mhm.
climb dynamic up the hill changed that up a little bit once we actually played it, so I ended up, balancing power-ups towards the temple side instead.
Because it's a lot harder to defend the temple side.
It's hard to defend,
we
but
found.
it's also more fun, and you feel more like you're actually assaulting the ship.
Y-
It feels
I
more.
feel like it's harder to grab the flag on this side.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's hard to grab the flag as much as it's easier to defend. So you have to fight your way in. a
Which
lot
is
more.
funny too, because just from the little bit that we've played it so far internally, everybody kind of has a different opinion on that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which to me is a good sign.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
That,
Yeah, for sure.
That's true.
You can have those opinions in there and
You
feel
should
like
show
you're.
off some of
That
the inside of the
sniper
ship,
and
jeez.
that
Yeah.
power
Oh, yeah.
up, man. Oh my goodness.
This
So
is my
the-
favorite
Just to
escape
finish up
route.
with
Grabbing
this
the
one
double
here, like
damage.
actually there's the low path here that you can escape. You can actually cut across between the two sections in here with some health. This is the other entrance to the base, and then there's also actually an elevator back here
Mm-hmm.
that lets you back up to the U damage.
Jumps. Do the
Let
jumping.
me get boots first.
So the ship is actually incredibly vertical.
Yes, super vertical. So
Yep.
a lot of
Which is
people
really
don't actually
cool.
realize, or didn't realize when we were playing initially, that there's actually 3 ways into this thing. There's a big loading ramp here.
I
Which is
didn't
the
know.
primary way.
There's an elevator here, which is kind of
Oh,
hard
I
to
did not
find.
even know about
You
that.
didn't?
No.
What?
Yep. So
I
that's
totally
the
did
easy
not
way
know
to
that,
get
and we've played this several times.
sneaky.
What's funny is I can
We-
escape here really easily, but I can never find my way back in. I always run to the one corner and
Yeah.
go, oh, dead end.
So you can, if you play defense on the ship, you can kind of, you have the shock up here. You
I
can
put
watch
goo at the
both
top
of
of the
these.
ramp there. I
Yes,
plop
you
it
got
down
me.
because you can't see it as you come over the crest, so people get gooped.
Yeah, but then if you
I got so many
if you watch
people.
the ramp, basically one thing you can keep your eyes on is this other little sneaky
Yeah,
path,
that's-
and which you can
Ah.
translocate, and you can actually also just
See, I came down that, but I didn't even think
Oh,
about
wait,
going
my
back
jump
up.
keys.
The jump's broken. No, you're good.
Here you go. Yeah, you can also wall ledge up here, but then you have to translocate to actually get up into the ship, and that kind of bypasses, this entire mess. But
It's an entire mess.
well, it's mess in terms of like
Right,
people
fight.
trying to fight their way through there. It's going to be kind of a tour de force to get through
Mhm.
that spot. But if you're, defending from up where the armor is, as opposed to
Mhm.
down there, you can actually still keep an eye on people coming in
Right.
that way.
Kind of forces them back a little bit.
Yeah, like the idea was to have this really feel a little bit assaulty in the sense that you kind of have sneaky objective-like paths to
Mhm.
get into the ship where you try and bypass the defenses. So you have that over there. You also have a ton of lift jumps going into the ship where you have vents up here that you can whoop if you don't screw it up. I like to screw these
Or
up
you
on
can
the
translocate in
pressure
there.
is
well, yeah.
on.
But as a flag carrier, you can also actually use these, right? If you
Nope.
Actually, I think maybe the BSP
And now I've
is
done this
unfriendly
myself,
there
so
now.
I know it can be done.
But anyways,
There
you
you go.
can sneak your way up through these into the flag room, which is nice because you get, you know, height advantage coming in.
Lay some
Also,
rockets down
actually,
there.
the flag used to be up on this little pedestal in the initial version, but
Mhm.
it ended up being really confusing for people finding it when they progressed
Right.
naturally through the ship.
You come into the room and go, "Where's the flag?"
Yeah, and now it just kind of feels nice and natural, and
Yeah.
you also have this, you know, this actually means something up here now as being a defensive vantage point as well as an offensive one if you sneak
Mhm.
in.
So most of the people on the stream should know this, but some may not. That when after halftime, you're going to switch sides.
Yeah, that was the whole point. Yeah.
So it's really cool because switching sides actually means
Look at the
something.
view.
Yeah, you get a view on pretty much everything out here. You also have this little, you know, you can see people cut across the bridges down here and
I'm
everything.
Having a heart attack just even thinking about optimizing this level once we get it decorated.
But it's so awesome. It's so much fun.
I'm sure we'll make it work.
But that's nice.
Some
to,
people are
you
saying
know,
that it reminds them of the first UT.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
awesome, that's
Just
great to
crazy
hear.
stuff, right?
Yeah, it's basically just having tons of fun with making a more themed version. Also, the really nice thing about asymmetrical CTF is that it frees us up to come up with crazier scenarios that
Mhm.
just have more interesting settings and kind of a little bit of a mission structure to it almost.
Right.
And I'm really
This map, as you said earlier, has very much of an assault feel.
right. Yeah, kind of hybridizing CTF and assault a little bit could be a really cool path to go down because you could really push this idea a lot further than this, right? I mean, this is kind of a little bit further down that path, but at the same time, still, it doesn't really, you know, it doesn't take advantage of super imbalancing the sides yet, where you could really kind of come up with crazy map ideas that, you know, put one side at the
Mhm.
bottom of a big pit and the other on the top or whatever, right? Like you could come up with tons of crazy
We
shit.
had a pretty great match the other day where we were the defending side, and I think we got 1 point and they got 3 or 4, and we were like, oh crap, what are we going to do about this? And so we had
Yeah.
the whole next half to basically we had to try and catch up, and we did it, and we actually won the match, so it was pretty exciting.
Actually, one other thing that you can do out here too that I kind of purposefully did is you can cut across between these
Nice.
two paths if you escape this way. And you try and like juke people and stay hidden a little bit. You can
Go
you
back
know,
inside
cut
the
around
base.
this way or run circles, go back around, or just cut between left path and right path.
I think I was escaping the other day on one of those jump pads, and Sid was chasing after me, and he expected me to just keep running, but I hopped on the other jump pad and he came back the other direction.
Yeah.
And we
Actually,
both fell into the pit.
We bumped into each
We
other.
Bumped into each
we
other.
collided midair.
Yeah, because these are set up the exact
Right.
same way, so the arcs meet in the middle.
I'm really excited to see what the community comes up with because those were always my favorite maps.
Yeah.
Although they went out of rotation, with the ones that were uneven, or
Yeah.
somebody would chop it in half
Yeah.
and make 2 maps out of
Well,
each
I was
side.
thinking back to the original maps in UT99, and a significant portion of them were asymmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
and now like it's a really nice reason for halftime to
Yeah.
exist too, right? Because we can come up with.
I feel like
cool
it's
scenarios
something
like
we gave up on to earlier and earlier games, you know,
Mhm.
because there's always the trouble of balancing them and whatever. And
But to be fair, like back then, the maps were played in the traditional way, right? So
Yeah.
you automatically get that issue. Like I can totally
Right.
understand the sentiment behind that, especially for people who are competitive, right? It's like
Mhm.
there's a reason why people play, I don't know, CS:GO and play 15 rounds in side switch or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And compare against each other.
Yeah.
Like it just feels right to do that,
Mhm.
especially if you have
the
a
thing
good
I
reason
like about
this.
side switching, even in a symmetrical map, is that if there is just some minor imbalance that we didn't account for, it kind of balances itself
Yeah.
out in a
Right.
single match.
No more like, oh, this side has one more rocket pickup, you know.
It's actually
Yeah.
totally okay that they're a little bit different, or a lot
Yeah.
of bit different.
Yeah. And actually also, let's show the, I'm going to show the setup real quick for this because it's super freaking straightforward. If you're used to setting up CTF maps, you basically do the same things you've always done. You have, you know,
Red
your
flag, blue
standard
flag.
red flag base, blue flag base, and all that other stuff. So you just put these in as usual. The deco actors, you also just drop in, pick a color, you know, you essentially set it up exactly the same way you'd always would. The only difference being is that you can go into the world settings now. Where's the tab? There it is. And just
Drag that
enable,
over.
allow side switching.
Hmm.
That's the only thing you have to check, right? And the game type
Awesome.
will take care of everything else. And I also made a forum post about how these are set up, and you know the actual blueprint setup behind how this works and the interface you can implement to
Those
enable
colors
it.
actually switch halfway through the match.
Yep. So this all switches.
Blue
you know,
becomes red, red
basically
becomes
this-
blue.
Yeah. Essentially, this thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it just does it for you, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, this really.
Does that work with red and blue only, or can, like you had yellow and green?
Oh, but these I just had thrown in there
Yellow and
to be
green.
complete. Basically, when I first put the deco actors together, just because it's like the traditional. Oh, you also have
Do it.
You also
Oh
have
my
these guys.
goodness. Look
classic
at
guys.
that.
So we definitely have them in the game, right? If people wanted to hook them up to something, but.
Does this mean I have to make new shirts?
So it works for these guys. The lighting and everything will change. The jump pads actually are also hooked up. So if you have jump pads and CTF maps, they will automatically change color to match the sides as well.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that's that in a nutshell.
Very
And
nice.
it should be in the next cook build.
Yay.
So
Whenever that comes out.
Yep.
You want to check the next map? This is
well, you can.
my map.
I'll let you drive your
Why don't
thing.
you drive
sure.
I'll open it for you.
slowly?
So I have
Please.
to let Shelly know that people are really loving having two different camera angles, so they don't have to look at the same picture the
Nice.
whole time.
Yay!
There's a lot of
Same.
comments about that.
All right, let's give this a shot. Ooh,
Yeah, it's like a
I feel like
breakfast
I'm
tray.
in a cockpit. Breakfast tray.
It's either that or you're eating in front of the TV.
Breakfast tray.
All right, it's rebuilding paths. It's been hitchy for a little bit. So this is my first attempt at a CTF level for UT4, or the new Unreal Tournament. I'd previously made a CTF level back in the days for UT 2004, but I never actually ended up finishing it and decorating it. So
Yeah, you were more of a deathmatch.
I was a DM kind of guy.
right.
Yeah, I you know,
August new.
I would design around my problem of
That was
time
a great
constraints
map.
by making small levels. So, this is a symmetrical map, or we call it point symmetry, where you're basically in a canyon here. The name CTF-Blank is just temporary. I might call it something like
CTF
canyon or something like that.
Or
Or-
log flume.
That's right.
That's a
Nepali likes to call it the log ride. Kind of one of the things we have going on this map. Let's just go full screen. Why not?
Actually, maybe that means now you actually need to
No.
have
How do we full screen it, Sid?
F11.
F11.
Engine team fail. Or
Oh, shots fired.
no, I mean I fail. They would be cringing. So this is the CTF. Should I just run around it? I guess so. Oh, I guess I'll do a run over first.
Yeah.
So the flag's here, and there is a river that runs from here all the way out of the base. And when you jump in, you're kind of out of sight, and it'll basically lock you into a path.
Push
So it's
you
a
out a
nice
bit
There you
faster.
go.
Yeah. So it'll actually get you out of the flag room pretty quickly.
That's
But-
the only way I go. I shouldn't say that because now everybody knows, but it's so much easier just to, bounce off the walls down there and then just let the river carry you.
Right. But the trade-off is that everyone knows you're coming out right here, so they load up 3 rockets
Yeah.
and you're done for.
Also, it's kind of dangerous to be, the flag carrier in your own base waiting for your flag to be returned and fall in there by accident and you're pushed back out to the
That
midfield.
drives Sid crazy. And this side is just a bit of a cavey area. So there's a couple of paths out. This way is kind of a little more sheltered.
Yeah.
But if you go in there, they pretty much know you're coming out here or here.
Yeah. Having the flag in there is nice
I
too.
die every
Like,
time I go through that way.
the flag carriers like to hang out in there a lot too. 'Cause
Right.
it's a little bit more protected.
Yeah, that's where Sid
Well,
holds up.
I like that the flak and the rocket are in the base,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
but the hit scan weapons are in the middle.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's the
Mini
miniguns
is
right
up
here,
down
so you
there.
just kind of drop down.
And the snipers up
This
there.
route here is pretty fast out. You come up here. If you want to grab those vials, you're going to be in sight of anyone down here. So there's a little bit of a trade-off. And here's the sniper over the middle. But you can't actually escape this way. You have to go out over the bridge.
Except
Which
for, I
means
guess you can translock drop though, right?
you can translock drop. The guys, when they were here for the community event, made it very clear that that's something that was desired. So why not? And then the midsection, the fastest way out is straight across the bridge. But then you're in sight of the sniper towers there, and pretty much, I guess.
It's actually not
Not
that
from
bad
down
to
here.
escape from down there because you
No.
break line of sight with people.
Right.
Yeah.
So if there are people down here, they can translocate up after you. You've got a really direct route across the bridge, but it's just a little more risky.
Yeah.
The other way is to go down the canyon. So going into here, you've got vials, you've got a shield belt down the middle, and you've got a lot of cover to kind of protect yourself, or you know, have your buddies protect you as well. The trade-off there is that everyone knows you're going to be coming out of here. There's kind of only one way out. And so what we saw a lot when we were playing is kind of escort missions where I would see Jim or something running down here on my side, and I would stand up the top and just kind of shoot people coming after him, or kind of doing this.
A lot of teamwork in this map. It's great.
It's also nice to have these little holes back there with the vials, because then you can hang out there a little bit, allow your teammates to catch up to you. And
Right. Yeah, exactly. I would
wait
do
for
that.
the
I'd
shield
say,
belt to
yeah,
pop
I'm
up.
in the middle. Help, 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 help. And then, you know, Joe would hang out here, kind of trying to lure me out, shooting rockets after me, and then my buddies would come up and beat on Joe, and then we'd try and kind of make him move out.
There's a lot
Actually,
more swearing than
that
just
high
help,
path
help,
there
help,
is cool
help.
too, actually. The little trick jump
Oh yeah.
path.
So there's kind of this escape out of the base here, where you kind of feel like you want to wall slide down there, but you can dodge to here and get an armor, and then you can dodge across here, and it's kind of a really.
Make your way over. I'm not sure. I don't think you can hit the vials on the other end from over there.
I would spot Matt up here, Mysterial, and punt him off with a shock rifle, because it's quite a thin path. I would just kind of knock him off.
You can dodge up to the armor too from down there.
Right, from here.
Yep.
You can dodge up. Poop. I might make it so you can dodge up here as well, but it's just currently a little bit too long for that.
Yeah. And you can actually also get into the base that way as a flak carrier. You can dodge up to the armor, and then you can dodge over to that little rocky path.
Up here and into the base. You've got a little bit more of a covered path that way. So, yeah, we had some pretty good matches in here.
So want to run around a little bit?
Exactly. Let's play. Uh-oh. F11.
So since we're not going to be streaming live next week, maybe one of you guys during the playtest next week could live stream it right from your camera.
Oh,
Oh,
crazy.
that'd be
Crazy town.
some
With the
bad
swearing and everything?
language.
Yeah.
That's early. We'll see if we can set that up.
Mature audience
Dodge
is
across
awesome.
here.
Yeah, that's a nice path. Actually, you might be able to make that over to the vials
You
with
can
the wall
kinda
dodge.
With the wall dodge? I'm not sure if you can.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot.
Just translock over there.
Yeah.
Or I guess do that.
I'm lazy.
Yep,
Oh,
you can make that.
That might be problematic.
I don't know. I like it. I think it's cool that you have that option.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah, you can
put yourself
definitely
up
do it
against
from
that
there.
wall. If people
Yeah.
are chasing you with rockets or other splash weapons, you kind of
Right. Oh yeah, so when you're actually in the, it's not quite as limited as it seems like it might be in here. You can, unless you're bad at the game. I might have to make these a little bit easier. No! This computer's really
It's
unresponsive.
the same thing
so
that happens to me every time on this stream.
Every
It takes
time
me
you-
3 times
It
to
is
do every
the
single
mouse.
basic thing.
It is definitely the mouse.
I think this time it's the keyboard.
Yeah.
Oh, keyboard. That's it.
Yeah, that's it, keyboard. Blame the tools, that's right. And so you can also dot across here.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that
Yeah,
one.
that one's a really nice one.
Yep.
That keeps
I
you up
usually-
the high route here.
Actually, another really nice thing about the way those paths work in the bases is that there's the obvious path that a lot of people always take, but
Right.
if you go back around that way, the way you just came out, nobody really expects you to return a flag this way and stay up on that path. Because people always look for
True.
you either on the right in the flag room because they expect you to go for the cover, or they look for the
Right.
dead center.
So
but
have you been able to lock drop the flag from the window up there?
Yeah, you can. Let's give that a shot. I'll have to run it up.
Did you say log drop?
Lock drop.
Lock
Oh.
When you're a clam hatch and everybody's talking really
3-year-olds.
fast, you're just like, lock drop, lock drop.
So I think, let me see. Phew. And then you can, no. Yeah, there you go. You have the flag.
It's definitely harder to do this way than on maps where windows are close to the floor. We just have to walk up to it.
Right. It's a little bit tricky, but
Because
you
it
know.
doesn't actually fall out and.
No,
you
it
know,
doesn't fall
yeah.
out, but it's still accessible through the other side. So, you know, and then if you've got a flag and you're trying to escape, dodging down here flips you out really quickly, but you're just, you know, a prime candidate for
Yeah.
someone up here with a
We have
shock rifle.
some naming ideas. CTF stream,
Stream, yep.
CTF flush.
Jeez.
Flush the toilet. Yeah.
Let's go Going down the stream.
Yeah, Pete would always call out when he's calling out which way someone was going with the flag. He says, log ride, log ride. So you can actually, grab the flag and pop back here if you're feeling tricky. So, it's not a complicated map. It's fairly simple. There's just a number of different ways through it.
I may have
Yeah.
gone the wrong way
Found
the
out you
first
can
time.
We
I
had lots
played
of
it.
really fun, fast matches in this one.
Pew! You can actually get
Yeah,
it
we
that
have
way.
a lot of fun with this one.
Oh, that's an interesting run. So you could presumably, with the flag, never have to go in the middle.
Right.
And then never even have to.
Well, yeah,
This
that's
is
what-
really non-standard. Ready? Oh, no.
But that's what we
Oh.
did earlier, right?
So but let's just pretend that I made that jump.
Okay, we'll
And then you
pretend.
can come this way.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're really exposing yourself for like a
Oh, yeah.
sideways run across
Oh,
the
you're
entire midfield,
zigzagging
right?
across the whole map. But, just sometimes throwing off the enemy is the right way
Yeah.
to go. We had a good match the other day where I think it was Matt and you were after me. I was coming up here. I was going crap, 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 crap. And Matt goes, you're not going to trick me by coming up there. And I stayed on the left and came back down. And they were both up there somewhere. And so I just kind of,
That's why I love elevators.
yeah. It took them a while. They finally encountered me back up here. And I don't remember whether I capped or not, but that's pretty much that. So yeah, it's a pretty medium-sized level. I think 5-on-5 was pretty comfortable, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
a nice, fast-paced action. But the nice thing is that it's still very playable as a 3-on-3 too.
Right. And a little sniper zone up here.
Matt always yells at me for being too predictable when I play this one.
Yeah.
Matt always yells at everybody.
So one of the
true.
things I'm not sure about is this really long line of sight almost into the enemy base. So that's something I'm thinking about.
I don't think a lot of people do that, though. It doesn't seem.
Not
Well-
yet, but imagine having
Zach has been
Over
hitting
time.
me,
Yeah,
he's,
it's all-
he's gotten pretty brutal with the sniper.
all things in
lately.
time.
The way we look at things sometimes versus the way people look at it in the wild and figure out
Right.
things and
So
focus on different kind of strategies
As a
and
community
whatnot,
event,
so, yeah.
we got our asses completely handed to us, and the community guys would rocket jump completely over one of the walls and outside.
There's
just
Jumbo.
gone. Yeah, oh man. They just totally hammered us. We didn't even think about doing some of those things. So, I might have to bring this part of the wall forward or kind of some kind of blocker.
You
or
were playing with some potential changes, right?
yeah,
Some
I
little
toyed
tweaks.
around with some of them. I was thinking about changing this area up a little bit, giving it a little bit more depth.
This one's going to be in the next build too, right?
I think a version of it made it in last week, which is pretty similar to this.
Yeah.
I think it has the rocket shotgun.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. The
Yeah,
two
the
fast
water
There
is
was a
much
really nice-
better now.
There was a really nice bug where this section of one of the sides would shoot you about 20 times faster. So if you jumped from here, it would rocket you through the sky up to
Yeah, I
here.
saw a video of one guy flying basically almost back to his own flag base.
Right. So that was a little bit crazy town, but Oh yeah. Rocket jumps are
You can still get pretty far.
Oh yeah. Yeah, rocket jumps are totally crazy.
I mean, they've been tweaked a little bit, but
Oh, I did
Woo.
too. Yeah. So yeah, that's this level.
Awesome.
Give me feedback on the forums. Let me know. It's not wrapped up yet, and so I'm still considering some changes, especially if they're problematic for kind of competitive play or even just non-competitive play. And we'll try and address that and talk to you guys about it.
And jump in Jay's thread too and talk about control.
yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
check it out.
Check it out, play it. It's a lot of fun. It's really easy to get now. All you have to do is download the file and drop the pack file in the folder. So, okay, that's it for this week. Make sure you join the engine team tomorrow.
Do we
They
wanna
will
talk about
be
Leah?
Oh
doing
yeah,
a
really quickly.
We do.
What?
Don't call it yet. There was one other map that we were looking at.
Oh, yes.
And it's a community favorite.
It's a huge community favorite. There's people playing it all over. Called DM Liga.
yes.
And we actually had a couple really good one-on-ones
Mhm.
and really kind of analyzed the map. And we
I
planned on
totally
talking about it
rage
today.
quit because Sid hammered me so hard. I was just like,
But it-
flip the table.
It brings up an interesting point.
Mouse slam.
Looking at the map in the forums, people are having great discussions about it. And
It's the community favorite by far.
who's building it? I can't remember his
Um,
name off the top
Neil?
of my head.
Neil, Captain Migraine.
Captain
Mhm.
Migraine. So he's
Ah,
looking at it.
yes, I know what you're
He's doing a great job in the forums. He's getting a lot of really good feedback. The problem that we've run into is that this was a map that was built by someone else
It's a remake.
in UT 2004. And so this is a remake that he's doing, and we're not sure if he has permission from the original author. We've been trying to track him down. So we just wanted to throw it out to the community that if you're going to remake a map, be sure you have full-on support from the original map's creator, because it could potentially, you know, they could come back and say, oh, I don't want you to build this map, and then the whole thing falls
We
apart.
want to be able to support these things as
Which
much
even
as possible.
even if there wasn't any sort of legalities involved, which I don't even know
You
what
know, it's
there would
it's
be, but
ambiguous. We don't know,
it's
right?
it's ambiguous, and it's just kind of good conduct to basically
it's
honor
kind of
other people's
we have a
creations,
moral
right?
obligation to
Which
respect the original authors.
It shouldn't be taken as us, you know, taking this negatively at all, or accusing anybody of
doing a
anything.
great
We're
job
just-
with
No,
the
it's a
level.
fantastic
Yeah.
map. It's actually the opposite. I think is we want to be able to promote it and support it, and we want to make sure that we can.
Right.
Because
we don't
it's,
want
you
to step
know,
on anybody else's toes and, you know, not recognize their initial work.
Exactly.
So anyway, just as a general, you know, to the people out there, when you start working on a map, it's great to look at old maps and get ideas and use them to inspire you and do your own stuff. If you really want to do a full-on remake, be sure that you're the guy or the person who did it, or you have their permission. So.
And you can usually find them, you know, if you look online, the Epic forums, a lot of times will have the people on there who did it, and you can even look in the map itself and see who the author was.
And we actually tried to track down the author of Leah.
Yes.
So if you know who they are, and that person wants to come into the
I
the
might
forum
be able
thread
to
and
find him on
support,
the Epic forums.
get in touch with them, because we'd love for him to just pop into that forum thread and say, "Awesome, this is great, continue," and then everything's clear. So.
And then it's all good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so once again, tomorrow, the engine stream, they're going to go over the 4.6 preview. Ray Davis and Mike Fricker, and everybody loves when Mike's on because he's just so passionate about the engine, and he gets really excited about all the new features. So, and Chance will be there too. So we will miss you next week. Maybe one of us will be streaming from a playtest. Not sure yet, but we'll let you know if we do. Thanks for stopping, and we'll see you 2 weeks.
Bye, everyone.
Again.